Right, perfect. Just talk.
Hello?
Perfect.
We live in a world that teaches us early on to hide the parts of ourselves that hurt. That is the worst thing, and I've done it myself. We smile when we're breaking, we bury trauma under silence, and especially as men we're told that vulnerability is described as a weakness. But I'm starting to believe the opposite is quite true. The hardest thing I've ever done is face myself and things that have happened in my past. And that's what I'm here to do piece by piece now in this video. It's basically like a life story, but it's also a message to young adults. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe and leave a comment for any suggestions for future videos. I would much appreciate it. Let's start with love. Love is quite an important subject to me, especially me and all my mates. We've all experienced love. We've all been in mature relationships as we've grown up. Love was once the most purest thing I believed in, and I've been in really happy relationships with people. Even though I'd only say I've been in love probably once, I spoke to people for not long and I still had that feeling of being heartbroken. I gave it my everything, in most cases my trust and my heart. And each time it shattered, it didn't just break my heart, it reshaped my understanding of love and how relationships are meant to be perceived, and that the more I grow up, the more I'm starting to believe that statement. Heartbreak taught me that love isn't always gentle, and it always isn't forever. I don't get upset about failed relationships or failed talking stages, whatever you like to call them. It kind of makes me more of a man and I learn a lot of things from it. But for a while, the endings of these relationships completely changed my perception. I confused vulnerability with weakness. And I also convinced myself that detachment was safety. But here's what I know now. Love was never really the enemy. My fear of being hurt again was, though. The lesson hidden in every failed relationship wasn't that I'm unworthy. It was kind of the fact that I still had more to learn about myself as I was growing up. Every time I've been in a situation, let's say talking stage, we'll call it talking stage, I either find myself in a really good situation where I feel vulnerable to a woman, but I never really feel like I'm in the right space to go further than that, just because I feel like I haven't learned everything I want to know about myself. One thing I'd say about love, it isn't just finding the right person, by the way. It's about becoming whole enough to meet them as a whole person too. If there's one massive tip I would give to people, if you find yourself in these situations, I'd give it time and question yourself, are you really ready for what's ahead of you? Are you really ready for that mature relationship? Are you ready to talk about kids, marriage, all of that stuff? Because it can happen at this age. You've got to really question yourself, are you ready for that next step? The next point I want to get into kind of interconnects of why I struggled in serious relationships. It'll all start to make sense as the video progresses, but I was 2 years old last time I saw my father. I think about it every single day. Even there'll be some times where I go to sleep and I don't think about it at all, but most days there is always a running thought of where I do think about my dad. Since I was 2 years old, it's been me and my mum. And I've lived with my siblings too for a little while before they moved out, but they're much older than me. My mum is everything to me. She's like my best friend. She's my strength, my sacrifice. Everything was down to her when it came to birthdays and Christmas presents. Money to go out and do leisure with my mates, school trips, dinner, everything. It all came down to her and her sacrifices that she made for me. I owe her everything. When I make it, when I'm older, everything's going to go to her because she's the reason why I'm here now. It's the reason why I'm standing and doing this video, to be fair. But the absence of a father leaves its own quiet scars. There were moments in my life where I craved guidance and a voice to say, this is how you stand up when life knocks you down. Instead, I learned by falling over and over and over again, and I've done it so many times. For years, I mistook the absence for a reflection of my worth. But I've learned something more powerful, and that's absence is not the same as it emphasises. It forces you to seek wisdom elsewhere, in mistakes, in mentors and in the mirror, when you look at yourself every day. I know that I can't just go downstairs and go and speak to my dad maybe about a girl, or maybe if I've fallen out with one of my friends or something, or I've had an altercation when I've been out or something. I don't have that. Because in every choice I make, I have the chance to be the voice I never heard. Not just for myself, but for others who grew up the same way as me. So how does this all interconnect into failed relationships and my view on love? I would say the main reason is that we learn love by watching it, and I never got that blueprint, to be fair. When one parent is missing, that blueprint is incomplete, and you don't grow up watching how two people resolve conflict, show affection, set boundaries, or build trust at all. That doesn't mean you can't learn those things later, but it often means you figure them out from scratch as an adult, and often by trial and error. Loss and grief. One of the hardest things I ever had to go through as a teenager was loss. I lost 2 friends during some of the most crucial years of my life. The first loss happened as I was just about to sit my GCSEs in year 11. But then that was when lockdown began and COVID came around into the big world. And that time it made everything so much more harder. I was already stepping into a world full of uncertainty, but now I was doing it with grief sitting heavy on my chest. Lockdown was supposed to be about slowing down and staying safe, spending time with your family, but for me it became a place where pain echoed louder than ever. What made it more confusing was that by the time they passed, we weren't as close as we once were. Life had pulled us in different directions, and we didn't talk like we used to, but that didn't make the loss hurt any less. Life tore us in different directions, and then knowing that they're not here anymore left quite a significant scar. In fact, it added another layer of pain. It was like the feeling of what if, really. It messes with your mind and your heart in ways that you're not prepared for. It changes how you see the world. You start questioning everything, how fragile life is, how fast things can change, and how unfair it all feels. A few years later, I then lost another friend of mine, this time to cancer. And again, even though we weren't as close as we once were, it still cut deep because I'd still shared the memories with them. Because no matter the distance the time creates, the bond, the memories, the shared, the moments that you've had with them, they always stay with you. And losing someone who was once part of your life leaves a scar that will be with you for the rest of your life. Grief doesn't mean forgetting, it means learning to carry their memory forward with you. It means honouring them by living the life they'd be proud of and they can look over you. And even though these losses will always be a part of me, they've also shaped who I am. They've taught me strength, empathy, and just how precious time really is. On to the next part. This is probably my most important one yet, and this is a very valuable one that I want young adults to take advice from. And that's me going through dark paths and my breaking point. After the second loss, my world felt like it was falling apart. The funeral was around Christmas time, and around the same time my first proper relationship, my first mature relationship had ended on Christmas Eve. And everything I thought was stable in my life had crumbled. I felt like I'd lost everything, my friends, my love, my direction of life. And I didn't really know how to cope, and I spiraled out of control. I went down a really, really dark path. One that I never thought I'd walk. So, especially for my family watching this at home, my mum, my sister, my brothers, I'm sorry if I upset you in this. I turned to drugs several times a week, trying to numb the pain or maybe just escape from myself. But the thing about pain is you can't outrun it. The more I tried, the more it consumed me. My mental health hit rock bottom, and that shit hurt like real bad. I was angry 24/7, I was empty, and I felt like a shell of the person I used to be. And honestly, I didn't think I was ever going to come back from it, to be honest. I felt like the darkness that had swallowed me like completely, and I thought that was it. But somewhere deep down, a small part of me still wanted more, and I still felt like I could climb out and make something of myself. That tiny spark is what eventually saved me. Healing wasn't quick and it wasn't easy. It took time, it took help, it took bonding a new relationship with my friends again, sort of. I've never ever been more close to my friends as I ever been now. It took admitting I was broken and that I needed to rebuild. But step by step, that's what I did. And slowly I started becoming the person I wanted to be, not in spite of what I went through, but because of it. That breaking point didn't destroy me, it became the foundation that I rebuilt my life on. One final message I want to say to young adults, and even everyone to be honest, it's no matter how deep the pain is, no matter how heavy the grief is, no matter how far down you feel like you've fallen, it's never too late to come back. It's never too late to rewrite your story. I'm living proof of that, and I can tell you that for a fact. There were times I genuinely believed I was beyond saving. I'm a very difficult person to understand, and all my friends and everyone close to me knows that. I'd lost too much. I'd made too many mistakes. But here I am, I'm still standing, I'm still growing, and I'm still becoming the person I'm dreaming of becoming, and I hope my mum's proud of me. The truth is, pain will change you. Loss will shape you. Even if you weren't as close to the people that you've lost, and even if you aren't the person that you once were, absence and thinking about the past still leaves a mark, because everyone in the past has been a part of your story, and their impact on your life was real, it was true, and it was pure. Even if you're broken right now, it doesn't mean you'll stay broken forever. You have the strength inside you to rebuild. You have the power to write a new story, one where the darkest parts of your past become the reason you shine brighter in the future. So if you're going through it right now, hold on, sit down with your family and your friends and let everything out. You're not alone, you're not weak, you're not too far gone, and I'm still learning now. There's a lot of things I still need to learn, and you'll realise that about yourself too. And one day you'll look back, just like I do now, and all the time, and you'll realise that surviving off all that pain turned you into someone unstoppable. Before I finish, I just want to say a massive thank you. It was hard for me because I'd done a lot of planning. I've got a script that I wrote down, and it's hard talking about things in your past that you sometimes don't want to let out, but I've had enough of letting things build up inside me, and I thought I'd let everything out, and I thought I'd let a lot of young adults inspire off my story. It took everything in me, my whole soul and guts to stand here and open up about something so heavy and personal. But I wanted to do it because I know that there are people out there who need help as much as I did. To end this video, I'm going to share a short 2-minute clip that I've made. And it's just moments from my life, from my past, and currently what I'm doing right now. And I want you to take inspiration from it and go rewrite your own story. There's another chapter in your life that's still to be written, and you've still got a long way to go. And this right here is mine. Love and guidance.